Welcome, Stormwall. I actually believe this is one of the most important episodes that I will have ever done. I get so many questions about this that I wanted to do a deep dive on it and go through. Fill-up rates, I think it's so important and it's critical, and it could just fuck you over if you don't have the correct data, the correct resources in place. Then you are in trouble, my friends. And I was exactly the same. When I first opened Stormwall, I was so naive. And it's horrible to think that it was only 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 years ago nearly, in my 6th year. So my data, what I used, I was literally running blind, and I don't want you to do the same thing, because at one point I had a £60,000 bill to pay, active supply and design, and I had no means to pay it. I had 14 days to pay it, or 28 days to pay it, whatever it was. I had a big bill and I couldn't afford to pay it. And I didn't know what to do. Luckily, I had another podcast. I had a podcast called The Betting Guy. I had 60,000 downloads a month. So I basically built a bit of software which helped people with the in-play trades. It's sort of like horses, stock market, prices go up and down. And there was something out there. I modeled on it and I improved it, and I sold a shit ton of it, and it was great. It basically generated £100,000 of profit in the first 6 months, which was thankfully just what I needed, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, I honestly don't know what I've done there. And the reason I got myself into that trouble is because I didn't do my numbers. I didn't do my projections. It was dumbass Dean. And the problem is, you normally only learn from your mistakes. And that's okay. But I would rather learn from somebody else's mistakes. This is what I want to do for you guys today. I want you to learn from my mistakes, my dumbass mistakes. I will never make the same mistake again now, ever, because I've been in that boat when I overestimated what I expected to take. I overestimated how much square foot I thought would come in, and I underestimated how much the cost of everything would be. When you first start a self-storage facility up, number one is you've got massive rent and rates and other bills, staffing, etc. if you've got staff. And then you've got no revenue. You've got a middly little peanut size revenue stack that's growing all the time. It's growing month by month by month, but it isn't, you've got a cash deficit. You've got a cash flow deficit. Your expenses are more than your revenue. At some point, you get past that critical point where you're cash flowing, your revenue is more than your expenses. And then we're a cash flow positive situation. But until then, I can promise you it is very, very stressful. But the more stress it was for me, the bigger the barrier to entry that I knew there was for other people. I saw that the problems I went through was like a moat. It protected me. It protected me and my business. And so I knew that only very, very high net worth individuals could compete, or big companies, because without having that cash reserve, without having the ability, I mean, luckily I had some very, very wealthy friends who believed and backed me as well. I mean, the Stormwall project was over £1 million, over £1 million capital expenses. Incredible, absolutely crazy. And now it's doing fantastic. It's cash flowing, 40% a year, which is phenomenal on the initial investment. However, it wasn't always cash flowing, which is a problem. And so what I want to do to you guys today is I want to go through my numbers, so what you can expect your fill up to be. Now, again, massive caveat is that my situation, my circumstances are going to be different to yours. It's going to be a different area, different competition, and different location. And so there's so many moving parts that you can't actually accurately predict what you are going to do in terms of fill up. So one thing that I want you to do is underestimate. You have to underestimate, and you've got to plan for the worst and hope for the best, but plan for the worst, because the last thing you ever want to do is run out of cash or be in the situation where I was in, where I had a big kick-ass bill and no money to pay it. It is horrible. It changes your life. It's not enjoyable. You don't enjoy anything. You don't enjoy being with a wife. You don't enjoy being with the kids. You don't enjoy watching a movie. You don't enjoy anything, because all you can think about, your attention is always on that bill. And what are you going to do if, Active Supply and Design didn't even know that I couldn't pay it. So, but luckily for we got the money in time and we paid it, and they still don't know. They might know now, but they didn't know then. And I'm just very, very thankful that we got out of that position. And do you know what? It scarred me. It really has scarred me. So now I'm going to go through some of my projections for my new sites that we've got opening, because I want to tell you exactly what I am planning to do on each one of those. And hopefully my numbers are underestimated, and I'm planning for the worst, but hoping for the best. Anything above them numbers is a Brucey bonus, absolutely Brucey bonus. Okay, so let's get cracking with Stormwall. When we first opened, right, I'm going to tell you the high level view. So at the minute, this is up to December 2021. That was 61 months. We've been open 61 months, and we have in the site at the end of December, we had 30,370. So we were 79.3% full. We had been up to 33,260. So we're basically 3,000 behind where we've the highest we've ever been. Although January we did make 900 square foot or something like that. So we're currently at 31,300, something like that at the minute. But for the purpose of this podcast, we're just going to go for 30,370. So at the minute, we've been open 61 months, and so that is an average per month. This is an average per month of 497 square foot per month. So 498 if you want to round it up. That's the average net position we have been in throughout the 61 months. So I don't believe that's too bad for 61 months. I think that's pretty good, pretty acceptable. But the difference here is that the longer you've been opened, the less square foot you gain. So for example, in the early parts of a facility, you gain more square foot because you've got people coming in and you've got nobody coming out, or very, very few people coming out. To give you an example of this, in the first, how many months is this? In the first 13 months, we gained 17,355 square foot. 17,355 square foot divided by 13. Which means that we averaged in the first 13 months a net position of square foot of 1,335. I think that is phenomenal. What you want is the springboard effect. That will massively help you and your cash flow. If you can have that springboard effect, use the first few months, the first year, and really accelerate your growth. That's what you want to do, because then you can have more and more churn. The longer you're open, the more and more people that move out, because you've got more square foot in, so more square foot moves out. To give you an example, in month 14, we had 660 square foot move out in the total. That was our net position. In month 15, we had 1,325 square foot move out. So as you can see, the average square foot per month would change there. Let's have a look in the first 24 months. I actually don't know the answer to this. So let's have a look in the first 24 months. What was our, because 24 months is something somewhere I liked. Oh, wow. 19,000. So in the first 24 months, we gained 19,335 square foot. So divided by 24 is we gained 805 square foot per month average in the first 24 months. I think that is pretty darn good. And it's obviously, oh, and by the way, that in the 24th month, we actually lost 3,250 square foot. So if we'd have done it over 23 months, it'd have been a lot better, because we had 19,335 as opposed to 16,085. So as you can see, it's quite volatile, but it's over a long period of time, and it's the average. So over the first 24 months at Stormwall, and by the way, we're a big city, we're in a good location, we're opposite Aldi, near McDonald's, and we're the only indoor self-storage in that area. Well, nearly the only indoor. There was another one, but it's not very good. The roof leaks and stuff in that one. And it's not great. So my situation, my circumstances can be different than yours. So you never know that what you can't really compare. But for me, 800 square foot per month over the 24 months, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So let's have a look at my new sites that I'm going to be opening. So I think this is the first time I've mentioned this on this podcast. We're opening Sunderland. It's going to be an external unit site. It's going to be around about 10,000 square foot. And it's only a small site, but it's a great location. Absolutely fantastic location. We've just entered heads of terms today. So I'm happy to talk about it. So Sunderland, here, I've put 24 months that we will gain 354 square foot per month average. So as you can see, in Willoughby, we gained 800 square foot per month in the first 24 months. Here, I'm expecting to gain 354. I think we'll gain a lot more than that. I really, really do. The other two container sites that are close to me, they're completely full. I know Safe Store, I've spoken to the manager there, and they're doing very, very well. And so I think it's a great location, great area, and I'll be very, very surprised if we do less than 500 square foot per month here. It's quite cheap as well. I'm only going for £11 per square foot because, again, I want to underestimate what we do. We might get more than that, but in keeping with other people in the area, I thought £11 per square foot is going to be where we are. I still think we'll hit 15% of our insurance revenue will come from that. So 15% of our overall revenue will be from insurance. So yeah, I'm underestimating here, and I'm still predicting that we will get a 25% return. Worst case scenario, 25% return on the. I mean, I'm spending a lot more money on external units. I'll do another podcast about that as well, because the one problem I've got with containers is that loads of people come into the industry with containers. But do you know what? There's a reason for that. Container sites are incredibly popular at the minute. And people love a container. People love driving up to a unit. There is definitely a benefit. And the problem is that most people, we're quite snobby when it comes to our self-storage. I'm quite snobby. I want this nice, pretty building, indoor location. But sometimes a customer doesn't want that. Sometimes a work person doesn't want that. They want to just drive into the unit, open the door and get out. That's what they want to do. But we're quite snobby, and it's not what we want, it's what the customers want. And the data, the data, what I am seeing is that external units are bloody popular. And just ringing round, I've been doing a deep dive into external units, looking at all different container sites all over the country, and they're doing incredibly well. But the problem is, so many people are starting container sites up for me. So I'm so excited to tell you something that I've not really finished the sentence before I started saying the next sentence. So for me, I think you need two criteria for a successful self-storage facility. Is number one, location. You have to outposition all your other container sites and even other self-storages, because it will be a commodity. There will be extra competition. There will be other container sites opening, and that's fine if I'm outpositioning them. So number one, I want to outposition every other outdoor facility. If I don't, then I will really have to look at that market to make sure I want to go there. And number two, you have to be different. How can you be different? What can you do to your containers to be different? You don't want to be a normal shipping container. You have to do something different, whether it's graphofairming it, whether it's painting it, whether it's your look, whether it's spending extra money on tarmacking it. I still think you need to do something with your containers. Whether it's external drive-up units, we're pricing up loads of different options in external drive-up units. And obviously, I'll share all my data with you guys on here as well, because I think this is a great opportunity. I really do. So you've got to do something different. The container, we've just bought 10 containers, and we've painted them white, all white, and green at the front. And we've graphofairmed it, and we've made it easy to open as well, a lot easier to open than normal containers. It cost us more money than a normal container. I think it's about £4,500 for that sort of container, but we will be different. We will stand out. People will use us because of that container. So you don't want to be, in my opinion, yes, a normal container site will work now. Yes, it will. But for me, moving forward, I always look long term. I don't want to be just a short-term success. I want to be there in 5, 10, 15 years. I want my business to continue to grow and continue to be profitable. And what I can do to make that happen is two things: position, make sure I outposition everybody. And number two is make your units different, whether it's external drive-up units, or Janus units are beautiful, or whether it's painting your containers and making the insides nice with Graphical FM, etc. Then you've got to do that. You've got to do something different. You can't just do what everybody else is doing. Well, you can, but I'm contradicting myself all the time. Yes, it will work right now, but will it work in the future? I don't know. There's a question mark about that. So I want to make sure it works now as well as in 5, 10 years time. So I want to position myself for future-proofing the business. So I need to graphofairm, I believe, anyway now. And by the way, I know Willbox has come on this podcast before, and they do graphofairm as well, Willbox, but they've come on this podcast and said with events, it's circulating the air, so you don't need graphofairm. If you want graphofairm, you can do, but you don't need it. That's great, but the customers don't know that. The customers don't know that. And when you compare Graphical FM units, insulated units to a non-insulated unit, do you know what? The customers will prefer that added extra. Even if we know you don't need it, it doesn't matter because the customers don't know that. And if you can say Graphical FM units and show pictures of nice insulated units and stuff, that, my friends, will have legs. That, my friends, will make a difference. So I believe spending the extra 230 quid or 250 quid, whatever it is per unit, is worth it. So yeah, two things different: position and make sure your units stand out in some way, shape or form. So Sunderland, yeah, I'm going 354 square foot per month. And on them numbers, it works. It's 25% return, cash on cash. And I've got a good asset here that is worth money. Right, let's have a look at another site that I'm opening. I am opening in Boston. We are heads of terms in Boston. And here, we have gone a little bit higher on the price per square foot. That's completely fine. And the additional space rented out, we've gone a little bit higher because I believe the location is fantastic. We've gone 425 square foot every single month. And that means we'll fill up in 18 months. So 425 square foot. That's all I need in Boston to make it work. We've gone £18 per square foot and we have gone 15% of insurance as well. And again, my friends, this is high 20% returns, even on this, not worst case scenario, but even on these numbers here. I believe we'll do better than that. I believe we'll do better than the price per square foot. I don't know. Maybe we might hit £18 per square foot. I don't know, but we'll definitely hit the £18 per square foot, and we'll definitely do 425 square foot moved in. I'm convinced that on average over 18 months. Yeah, I'm really, really excited by this site. So I'm basing all my numbers on 425 square foot. You see that even though in Hull we did over 800 square foot per month, it's about half that, just because I want to be on the cautious side. And don't forget, when we first opened up in Willoughby, our sales process is much better. The questions that we ask are much better. We've got more staff. We're just better. We're better all around. If we opened up now in Willoughby, I am sure that we would do better. We would do a lot better than what we did before. So because we're better people. We're better at our, not better people, but we're better at our job than we was before. Let's have a look. South Shields. So as you know, we're heads of terms in South Shields as well. And here, because there's very, very few self-storages in South Shields, I reckon we'll do 537 square foot per month. So that's what I've based this on. So yeah, again, it's high 20% returns. And I know I've said to people, I don't like looking at it unless I can get 30% cash on cash return. But what I've done is I've overestimated on price and underestimated on what we'll get per square foot. So to make sure that one thing I hate it when I or somebody else don't hit projections, because that means you if you're not hitting your projections, you've got to be organic and truthful to yourself, authentic to yourself, because there's no point. You're only tricking yourself. Let's have a look at another one. So we're opening, as you know, in Clough Road. There's another one that I can't tell you about just yet because we've not heads of terms yet. We could be soon. Clough Road, 584 square foot per month. I reckon we'll do that. We have some containers coming there as well, so that'll help. So yeah, within the first 24 months, I believe we'll hit 584 square foot. Here, I've put the annual revenue per square foot is £20 per square foot. And the reason being is because we're getting £21 something at Willoughby. And so there's no reason why we would do exactly the same here. And because of the makeup, because of the way it's worked out, we're going to hit over 40% return on Clough Road, which is phenomenal, fantastic. Really looking forward to Clough Road. And maybe 584 square foot is a little bit high in the first 24 months, because that's almost saying that we're going to do exactly the same as we did in Willoughby in the first 24 months. The thing is that I do believe that Clough Road is in a better position, a much, much better location than Willoughby. So therefore, I think the fill-up will be quicker. The website is better. Our sales process is better. But maybe if I wanted to be cautious and careful, maybe I would drop that 584 square foot. And instead of putting it over 24 months, fill-up, I put it over 36 months. Just to make sure that we are hitting the data, because maybe that is a little bit high, that 584 square foot. At the minute, we're doing phenomenally well. We've been open 3 weeks and we've got 900 square foot in. But we just got to make sure that that I hit them numbers. I don't want to not hit my projections. Right, I've got some other data to tell you about. I know another self-storage facility that has 65 containers, and they're filled up within 4.5 months. That is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, incredible. I've just asked permission to share this. I won't be a second, and I've got a text back now. Yes. So Gavin Shields, I've been in contact with him and just said, listen, do you have any data on your sites? What can we expect to fill up? What can other people? I want to get as much data as possible. I basically told Gavin, because the bigger sample size I get, the better it is for everybody else. So Gavin's location in Portadown, this is Gavin Shields, the founder of Stora, the software. His fill up, let's have a look. So he's been open for 20, I don't know if it's useful. Yes, so in the first 22 months, his fill up, and this is Portadown, I believe Portadown has a population of around about 30,000 people. I could be wrong, but I think that's what, when I was looking at it before, and that's what I got. So 30,000 people, so not massive by any stretch of imagination. And he got 320 square foot for an average over 22 months, which is brilliant. I think is really, really good for a 30,000 population. It's great. For his new site, which is only just opened in November, and it's only got a 10,000 population. 10,000 population, and at the minute he's averaging 306 square foot. But it's only been very, very early doors, so that could improve massively, or you could see a slight drop off, because depends how much was set up. Was it a standing start? Like for example, Clough Road. We still haven't got everything perfect. We haven't got the text right. We haven't got so yeah, the content, we need to do the content. We haven't done. We're having a problem with Google My Business. Google My Business isn't set up yet, because every single time we try to get the postcard, it doesn't get delivered because it's a new bloody building, and so the postman doesn't know where to deliver it to, and so therefore we can't actually Google My Business or anything like that yet. So which is a bit of a ball ache, and so it just depends how much Gavin had set up before he opened, or if it was a standing start or a spinning start, or whatever. So again, over 300 square foot per month there as well. So hopefully just give you some idea of what you can expect. Obviously, with Sunderland, I am super excited about that site. I will give you the data as and when we get it. Hopefully, it should be open within the next. I want to be open by April in Sunderland. Jesus, I want to fill that fast. I want to fill that fast. We've been a container site, maybe a container site, maybe an external drive-up unit site. But yeah, I'd like to get that filled fairly quickly. And I think because with a container site, obviously the units size are bigger, so therefore the amount of square foot you take should be more, and so therefore fill up should be more, and it's £11 per square foot, where internal we're getting £21 per square foot. So yes, I'm absolutely pooped. I know I've been a little bit all over the place, but hopefully this gives you some sort of data. I've gone through all mine. Is there any other sites I've missed? Sunderland, Boston, South Shields. Can't tell you about that one yet. Yeah, that's basically it. There's no point me telling you about Beverly, because we don't have the data. I didn't keep meticulous records like I do now. Obviously, every single record is meticulously taken now for every single site we have. But when we first started Beverly, didn't really take any big details. I didn't need to. So yeah, I can't really give you any inside information about Beverly. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been, but I've enjoyed it. Like I said, Gavin, I just said, I love data, mate. Give me as much data as you've got, because I love it. I want to interpret it. I want to look at it, and I want to use it for my own benefit, and also share it with you guys as well. So hopefully some of the things that I've shared here is beneficial to some people. But the number one takeaway is overestimate your expenses and underestimate your square foot moving, because I promise you, if something unforeseen happens, you will thank me if your cash flow allows for more expenses and less square foot moving, because you need that wriggle room. I promise you need that wriggle room. It's just for your own peace of mind. It's a good business idea it's a responsible business owner, and I wish I'd have been more responsible in the past. However, that's the only reason I'm more knowledgeable now, because I made a massive, drastic mistake previously. Hopefully, you guys won't make that mistake. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll speak to you next week when we got loads of episodes coming up. See you soon. Love you. Appreciate you. Ta-da.